So this is Walter Masterson. This is a anti-right-wing, anti-Trump protester and a streamer, one of the biggest accounts on TikTok. And while he was in the middle of saying, as a born and raised New Yorker, we'd welcome everyone into this city, when he threw that over my head. What is he talking about? What he's talking about, the designated terrorist attack today by multiple news outlets who are now basically talking about what this guy was doing and who he was. I'll show you everything in just a moment. Mamdani came out and said that there was a white supremacist by the name of Jake Lang organized protests outside of the Gracie Mansion, rooted in bigotry and racism. Such hate has no place in New York City. He says it is an effort of our city's value. It is an affront, to our city's values and the unity that defines who we are. What followed after that is even more disturbing, right? Violence at a protest is never acceptable. The attempt to use explosive device and hurt others is not only criminal, it is reprehensible and antithesis of who we are. So he comes out, he says this, but he doesn't say what everybody else is thinking or what CNN is even saying. Let's take a look.
Sources telling CNN that both men that were arrested following these protests in relation to those two explosive devices admitted to having been inspired by ISIS. Now, I also want to add that last night when the police commissioner briefed the media on this incident, she did say that the investigation was still underway, and she emphasized that so far there appeared to be no nexus to the situation unfolding in Iran. So I just want to mention those two things right off the bat, because we are.
So again, the mainstream media trying to do hula hoops behind this. As you can see, the streamer right there was talking about being welcome. By the way, this guy, I don't even know if he's really from New York. I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx. I'm really from outside. Like, this guy, who the hell is even this guy? So this guy, Walter Masterson, again, welcoming in, I don't know what type of flag this is. And I told you there's some crazy activities going on. Take a look at the moment he found out that he could have died. Like, if that thing would have exploded on his head or exploded in front of those cops, we'd be having a different conversation today. Take a listen.
We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
Okay, Allahu Akbar. He throws it over. I don't want to show too much because we don't want to get suspended from YouTube for showing something. But as you can see this guy's face, this is the moment that he realizes, wait a minute. Oh, he's scared. He is scared. That was an explosive device over his head while a young kid who happens to be inspired by ISIS is screaming, Allahu Akbar. And that is the face of a man right here who is very scared of what just happened, who probably doesn't even know what just happened. And he is just shocked that this just literally happened right on top of his head, while also saying, we welcome everybody into New York City. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Anyways, so let's go read the comments real quick, because the comments, he posted this video himself. He spoke about Jake Lang. He said, oh, I am still standing by what I said about people being welcomed, except for this guy. And he's saying all these things, right? Then he also said, I cannot stress this enough. It was right near our feet and did not look real. We stood there laughing. Meanwhile, the incel femoids ran away, having been totally. So he's trying to say that this was a win. Oh, I won. But bro, you looked very, very scared. And everybody under his comments is saying a real life red pill moment. It's crazy because this guy threw a nail bomb, considers you a useful idiot for his ideology, and the mayor refused to call it out his actions. So back to the mayor again, and people are literally great. So now you realize how stupid your statement is now, right? So people are like, yo, you just had a red pill moment and you're denying it, right? So let's go back to the mayor, Mamdani, who literally, again, does not say anything about the terrorist acts. Does not say anything. Meanwhile, the NYPD came out and said, hey, wait a minute, man. Like, this was a terrorist attack. Like, this was terrible.
Protester identified as Amir Balat, an 18-year-old man, lit and threw an ignited device toward the protest area, landing in the crosswalk of East 87th Street and East End Avenue. Witnesses reported seeing flames and smoke as it traveled through the air before it struck a barrier and extinguished itself a few feet from police officers. Mr. Balat then ran southbound on East End Avenue toward 86th Street and gets a second device from a man tentatively ID'd as Ibrahim Nick, 19 years old. Mr. Balat lights the device and starts running with it. He then drops the device on the west side of East End Avenue between East 86th and East 87th Streets. Officers immediately secured the area and they took both men into custody. This was all captured on NYPD Argus camera.
This is absolutely crazy. It's wild. It's wild. And let's go back to Zohar Mamdani. So Zohar Mamdani and TMZ, you know, they were both debunked. So suspicious devices, says TMZ, they said suspicious devices found outside of Zohar Mamdani's residence. Then he was, you know, they, along with Zohar Mamdani, were fact-checked by X. Misrepresentation devices were thrown by counter-protesters who are anti-Mamdani, at anti-Mamdani protesters. Numerous media sources have reported Allahu Akbar was yelled by the counter-protesters with the device. Law enforcement has confirmed that that Mamdani is not believed to have been targeted. It was the people, you know, protesting Islam or protesting as a whole. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are in dangerous territory. And again, Mamdani decided to focus on white supremacy instead of focusing on the dangers behind all of this. And I'm one of those people, man. Like I grew up with Muslims friends. I grew up around Islam. Found it to be, you know, as I first of all, I feel that Jews and people who represent Islam need Jesus Christ. They need to accept Jesus Christ as God. They need to accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. That's my fixing this situation, is that these people in America needs to like literally bow down to Jesus Christ. That is my opinion on this. But the sad part about this is, you know, a lot of people like Sneeko, many different people are coming out like, oh, we're going back to 2003. We're using, you know, anti-Islam to like, you know, anti-Islam sentiment to bomb these Middle Eastern countries to go to war like it was 2002 again. And a few years ago, I would agree with that. But when you see stuff like this, bro, like this is terrible, bro. And this does not help you. This literally does not help you. This makes it worse. Screaming Allahu Akbar and throwing a nail bomb at protesters, that is not going to help you see that, oh, Islam is not, this is just, this is just like fear mongering to go to war and bomb Iran. No, man, this looks like you guys are, it looks like you guys are trying to, show dominance in the United States of America, that you are going to take over eventually, outnumber and outgrow Christians and make it a Muslim country. That is the overall goal of Islam. Now, most will argue, oh, but Jews are already doing that because they run Congress. That is an argument that you guys can have all day. But what I want to focus on is the United States of America as a whole. What are we going to do here? Because we are in the middle of two religious wars, while we're also having a religious war by denouncing all other religions that are not Christianity. At least I am. But when it comes to this, man, this is unacceptable behavior. I mean, you got rage baited by whoever, and you then threw a nail. I mean, this is gonna set you guys back more than you realize. So let's actually go to Nick Shirley, who ended up going say it for what it is: terrorism. New York City is becoming increasingly lawless under Mamdani. He went to New York City and basically right after this happened, because this is the biggest story right now. Take a listen.
So today here in New York City, the mayor Zohar Mamdani called protester Jake Lang a white supremacist, but he failed to mention that the two men who threw literal bombs at him are two Muslims, and he didn't even call them terrorists. He actually didn't even condemn that. But meanwhile, here in New York City, you also have all these people. This is the famous Canal Street. And look, now they start freaking out because I put a camera on their face. But they sell all this stuff, counterfeit goods, Meanwhile, all this madness is happening here in New York City. Nothing ever gets solved. They let criminals do whatever. Whether you say this is criminal or not, it is. They're selling fraudulent goods, not paying taxes on it. Meanwhile, you're working hard right now, but these guys are able to make loads of cash and pocket it all in their pocket without ever even having to pay tax. So then watch, as soon as I put a camera on any of these fraudsters, these scammers, watch how they just freak out. How much? Show your face? No face? How come? How come? Look, they make lots of cash. They know they're doing stuff wrong. That's why they won't show their faces here on camera. And they're making thousands of dollars. So you have a mayor who's not willing to call terrorists who are literally throwing bombs in the city of New York City. They have a bomb squad there right now checking out everything because of how bad it is. Look, how much? How much? How much? Why? What's wrong? What's wrong? You doing something wrong? See, they know they're doing stuff wrong. That's why they all freak out. No, I'm all right. Thank you, ma'am. They know they're doing stuff wrong. That's why they freak out. And you really do have a lawless New York City right now. You have a mayor who's not condemning anything. Only thing he is condemning is a protester. He's a Christian protester. You might not agree with all his tactics. I agree. Some of his tactics are a bit wild. But he calls him a white supremacist, but he won't call the terrorist. That's a little crazy.
Yeah. So again, we have the breakdown today. This happened. The breakdown today. This happened, ladies and gentlemen. And it is just, we are being set back to 2002. It feels like 2002 all over again. All right, I'll show you guys one more thing. Do not leave just yet because I do have another breakdown as to what's going on, right? We got major threats all around. At this time, evacuations are now underway on Manhattan's Upper East Side after NYPD bomb squad and FBI discovered a suspicious device inside parked vehicle as bomb robots move into investigators.
We continue to follow a developing situation outside Gracie Mansion, the official home of New York City's mayor, who at this time is Zoran Mamdani. The NYPD says it is now investigating a suspicious device found inside a vehicle. This comes after 2 men were arrested yesterday for throwing improvised explosive devices during 2 dueling protests near the mayor's mansion. Sources tell Fox News those devices were made with a dangerous material used in some very high-profile terror attacks. Fox News contributor Paul Morrow joins us once again on the phone. I suppose it is no surprise to you, Paul, that if there were a couple of devices that were thrown yesterday, that leaving a device in a car or a truck nearby might also have been part of the operation here.
Yeah, no surprise there, John. It tracks to things that we've seen in the past, certain ones that I'm sure the public recalls well, like, for instance, the Boston Marathon bombing, when the Tsarnaev brothers were actually fleeing from the police. Once they'd been discovered, they had all kinds of other devices that they were actually literally throwing out the back of the truck at investigators as they were being pursued. So I don't know what the plan was of these 2 guys, but my gut tells me that almost certainly this is connected to the events that we saw yesterday. They wouldn't be undertaking the evacuations that they're undertaking now if they didn't have strong indicia of potentially live devices in the car. And it is likely down to either some follow-on event that they wanted to do, or perhaps, as I said, something that they reasoned they might have to fight their way out. And very fortuitously, the police that were there responded very quickly and grabbed them, and very fortuitously, the devices didn't detonate. Yeah,
we understand that there are evacuations going on right now in some of the nearby buildings. That suggests that the bomb squad thinks that whatever device they've got here could create a pretty powerful blast.
Very much so. Now, the good.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is some of the news that we got today. Again, prayers to the United States of America. As to when you think about all of this, it's just terrible. It's terrible. So again, all of these people need to accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, in my opinion. That is my final thought, my final resting thought on all of this. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I love y'all, and see you guys on the next one.